You're with Horizons Stewardship, you're a partner there, you work with lots of churches. Do you have like a recent or top of mind story of a church that you've really seen grab a hold of this and that it's been transformational for that church?
But where I feel most recently that I've worked that wow, this transformed a church is a small church over in Greenville, North Carolina, right in the shadow of Eastern Carolina University. And the 4 or 5 years prior to us partnering together, their giving had plateaued and was beginning to decline. And so that decline was in part to the community, but also just some stances that the church had made, that some of their key givers decided to go elsewhere, and so they were losing people. Giving was down, but they still felt a strong call to ministry in that area. And but one of the things that the pastor said is, when people leave and numbers start going down, it affects everything. So you're in your finance meeting and it's discouraging. And then you look out on Sunday and it's discouraging. And then every meeting, there's these things that just feel kind of ominous, and there's this cloud. And so we did a couple of things with them. I did an annual initiative, generosity initiative. We call it Pathways to Generosity at Horizons, where we intentionally asked people to do something spiritual before they did anything financial. We asked them to pray about their commitment. We used some tools that they had never used before to try to engage their giving and connect it to discipleship. They'd never done that before. It'd always been very transactional. Here's our budget. This is what we need. We need for everybody to give a little more because we have bills to pay. And so when we began to shift the mindset to the discipleship piece, and then took them through this 4-week kind of initiative, they felt that this was in the fall of 2021. So felt like something was happening, but we're not seeing anything yet. Come the first quarter of 2022, all of a sudden they began to see a little bit of an uptick, and they began to see some people that had stopped giving begin giving, and some people that had been giving at a kind of a flat level for years began to take their next step. And so they began to see some positive things happening throughout the church because of a generosity initiative. And then I also worked with them on a culture of generosity piece, looking at some long-term things such as first-time donor engagement, lapsed donor engagement, high capacity, discipling people of high capacity, engaging your ministry and financial leaders a couple of times a year, casting vision with them, just some of those kinds of relationship developing things. And so talking with the key lay leader and the pastor a couple of weeks ago, they said, our church is not the same church that we were 2 years ago. And there's an energy in meetings. Our naysayers, a lot of our naysayers, the sky's falling, they're beginning to change their language. There is a passion and excitement. Worship feels different. And they traced it all back to these things that we've been doing, Tim, in the arena of stewardship, giving, and generosity. If we had time, I could reel off a couple of more. I'm thinking of a couple of more, but I think about that church because they're on no one's radar. You can think of the churches that you and I are aware of, we've connected to, that are nationally recognized, and their pastors are known across the United States, and their churches are recognized nationally and internationally. This is a church that's on no one's radar, but they love Jesus. They want to make an impact, and I got to be a part of it.